How's it going, everybody? C-RadTV back here in another video. So, of course, it is time for another NFL draft preview. So, of course, in the last draft preview, it was a short one where we focused only on the linebackers. However, we are going to revisit the linebackers for day 2 and day 3 previews. So, yeah, and of course, this one, we're going to focus on the final area defense, the final preview of the day 1 picks before we move on to the day 2 picks. So this video will focus on the top defensive back and safety prospects. So yeah, a lot longer than the last episode. So yeah, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and let's see who our top prospects are in the secondary. So the first player we're going to go over here, hailing out of Ohio State, the Ohio State should I add, standing 6 feet tall, weighing 195 pounds, we have Jeffrey Okudah. So Jeff Okudah, he's your tip prototype coverage defensive corner. So he's very good in the coverage game. So his strengths, his elite athleticism immediately jumps off the tape. Has light feet and loose hips, which allows him to confidently press receivers at the line of scrimmage and stick to his opponents like he's their shadow. He's always expected to be among the fastest players in the draft. His speed translates to the field, mitigating opponents' deep threats. He's also aggressive at the point of attack, flashes a stiff jab to knock receivers off the route, ruin any timing with quarterbacks. He springs out of his back pedal, shows immediate burst due to his swivel hips, allows him to change direction on a dime, possesses football IQ to handle zone coverage and late switch-offs, shows the route anticipation and gambling mentality to drop his primary assignment and make plays on the ball. He does not back down from the challenge of big receivers. He shows explosive leaping ability and good timing to challenge at the highest point. He showed significant improvement as a pass catcher in 2019. He possesses the hand-eye coordination and route anticipation to project even more success in the NFL. He won't wow you with his physicality, but he shows good awareness and technique to rip free into receiver blocks with strong active hands. He has reliable open field tackling with terrific hand-eye coordination to lasso defeated ball carriers seemingly out of his grasp. He's a durable performer, little injury concern, and he was a 3-year producer and also a 2-year starter for a program rich in history at the position because Ohio State has really been good with defensive backs and safeties. He has impressive resiliency and mental toughness on and off the field. So yeah, for his accomplishments, in 2019 he was the unanimous All-American rates among the best corner prospect in the past decade. He capped his college career off by playing to rave reviews in Ohio State's playoff loss to Clemson in the semifinals. He was rated the number 1 corner in the 2017 class. He had a breakout sophomore season. In his 3 seasons with Ohio State, Okudah's had 86 tackles, 10 passes defended, 4 forced fumbles, and 3 interceptions. So, in terms of weaknesses, though, Okudah, he plays with such an aggressive nature and coverage. He often arrives just as the ball does or slightly just before, which will sometimes draw an occasional penalty. So he could be prone to pass interference flags, and that's no good. That's not good. So he has to work on better timing the ball out. He only recorded 3 interceptions over his college career with Ohio State. All of them came this year among his 18 pass breakups. Sometimes he's showing more focus over disrupting passing lanes than creating turnovers, and that could be a bit of a concern because one of the Lions' main issues on defense has been generating turnovers and winning the turnover battles. So yeah, with Okudah, we gotta find a way. If we do draft him, he has to find a way to create more turnovers. So he's also a bit of a duck and swipe tackler. Although opponents rarely get by him, he isn't the type to just jump into the pile. Because out of his 86 career tackles, only 20 of them came on assists. In his draft year, he only had 6 assisted tackles. So yeah, he's usually just likes to do it on his own. For his NFL comparison, you're going to like this one, Lions fans. He's been compared to Darius Slay of the Detroit Lions. And really, if we get Okudah or not, it really depends on what happens with Darius Slay if he gets traded or not. If Slay gets traded, then I think the Lions might go with him. Because, you know what? Nothing like replacing Darius Slay with Darius Slay. If you catch my drift. I mean, you know, he has good zone coverage, but they really never said anything in reports about man coverage. So yeah, that's a bit of a question mark. Because Matt Patricia's defense is more man-to-man coverage and rarely zone. So yeah, I think it would take time for him to develop. It may take a couple years. And we can't really afford that right now. We need someone that's going to come in and make an immediate impact. Maybe if the Lions weren't in a win now ultimatum, I would say, yeah, go for it. But I'm going to have to say pass on this one. Unless something happens. I would say only take Okudah if it's Simmons falls off the board and our trade back gamble backfires. That would be the only scenario. So the next defensive back we'll go over, we have out of Florida, standing 6'1", weighing 205 pounds, we have C.J. Henderson. So C.J., he's your prototype read and react corner. So for strengths, he's long-levered, highly athletic cover corner. He comes with NFL starter kit right out of the box, boasting prototypical height, arm length, quickness, agility, acceleration. He's well-versed in press and off-man coverage, with experience playing both sides, nickel, and even sliding back to safety on occasion. He's a testament to his football IQ. His best locked up in one-on-one coverage. So he really excels in the man-to-man coverage. He shows light feet, good knee bend to gain depth in his back pedal, or when switching to the side shuffle technique. Has good length and strength for the jam when he wants it. Isn't reliant upon boasting the raw athleticism of the speediest receivers. He does have terrific balance and acceleration with changing direction, maintaining close proximity to receivers to keep the passing lanes tight. So overall, though, he was a former 4-star recruit. He's become the only true freshman in school history to record an interception, to record a pick six in consecutive games. In his 33 career games with Florida, he's had 6 interceptions, 4 as a freshman. He had first team All-SEC in 2019 when he broke up 11 passes. He did, however, miss 3 games due to an ankle injury and sit it out the bowl game for Florida. So he had an injury that could be a bit of a red flag. So a little bit of an injury history. Could that repeat itself in the NFL? So yeah, into the weaknesses though. He is a trustworthy tackler, but he's very willing to let his teammates do the dirty mop-up work for him. So he's got to step up and do. So he's got to learn to step up and do it on his own. I mean, he usually throttles down on run plays, heads away from him. He drifts toward the action with conservative pursuit angles. He did fail to record an interception in 2019, even though he broke up 11 passes this year. His inability to generate turnovers could be a little bit of a concern. So he has to get better at generating turnovers. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Joe Hayden of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, he has good one-on-one coverage. He's good for man-to-man. He fits the scheme. You know, the ankle injury could be a bit of a concern. And, you know, he just got to learn to generate turnovers. Could be someone to look at maybe in the later rounds. Or if we get another first-round pick late in the draft, could be someone we could look at late in the first round. So the next player we have here, hailing out of Mississippi State, standing 6'2", weighing 185 pounds, we have Cameron Dantzler. So Cameron, in terms of his strengths, he has very good size that jumps off the screen. Imposing player, can match up well with big receivers. Plays a lot of off coverage, including some looks at safety. May give him some positional versatility at next level. And what's rare when the coaching staff, though, allowed him to play press coverage. When he did, his long arms were able to disrupt timing. So for his college career, he was only a 2-year starter with Mississippi State. In those 2 years, he had 5 interceptions, 20 pass breakups, 108 career tackles, 6 tackles for a loss, and a sack and a half. He earned second-team All-SEC honors as a redshirt sophomore in 2018. He only allowed 30 in the past 2 seasons. He's only allowed 36 catches for 459 yards on 568 coverage snaps. And that is according to Mississippi State stat line. So yeah, he's very solid at shutting players down. In terms of his weaknesses, though, his footwork can be a struggle at times. With as much off coverage as he played, there is some wonder about the ability for him to turn his hips and run with opposing receivers. He is a good player with the ball in the air. Needs to focus on finishing interceptions when they come to him. So he's got to learn how to generate more turnovers, though. For someone his size, he's usually beaten too easily by running backs when blitzing. Usually struggles to rush with power. Doesn't have the wiggle to win with elusiveness. So yeah, that could be something to issue with. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Josh Jackson of the Green Bay Packers. So yeah, he could be very something interesting. Gotta generate turnovers better. Could be someone maybe to look at in the later rounds. If he falls down there. But yeah, could be someone interesting to look at. So the next player we have here, hailing out of Clemson, standing 6'1", weighing 185 pounds. We have A.J. Terrell. So yeah, A.J. for his strengths, he's built and he moves like a point guard, has a long gangly frame, eye-popping natural athleticism. He's best faced up in press man coverage, but isn't reliant upon jamming receivers at the line of scrimmage. He smoothly turns and explodes out of the stance to run hip-to-hip with them. Possesses straight line speed to cover receivers deep and shows good route awareness, so he's very good in man-to-man coverage. Reads the receiver and anticipates his cuts, remaining between the pass catcher and quarterback to throttle passing windows. Gets his head around when the ball was in the air. Physical and run support, he takes the fight the receivers and even linemen at times to defeat blocks and showing strong active hands to rip himself free. So for his college career, he entered Clemson as a 5-star recruit. He earned immediate playing time. In 2017 as a freshman, he had 6 pass breakups and an interception before he got a starting role as a sophomore. He led Clemson with 3 interceptions, including a pick 6 last year on Tua Tagovailoa in the national title game win over Alabama. So AJ knows how to pick Tua off for all those Tua fanboys. So yeah, he's far from just a cover corner. And also in 2018, Terrell had 53 tackles. He earned third-team All-ACC honors. Before in his junior year, he jumped out to All-ACC honors. So in 2019, his numbers did take a bit of a dip, where he had only 39 tackles, 7 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. Part of that was that opponents were catching on to how good he was, and really, the best way to take a playmaker out of the game is to keep the ball away from him. Because opponents last year tried to stay away from Clemson's side of the field, rarely targeting him. So yeah, he can make that much of an impact if used correctly. For his weaknesses, though, like most long play corners, he can be a bit of a sticky coming out of his breaks. He allows slivers of room for accurate QBs to target. He's a bit robotic in zone coverage, isn't as quick to close downhill on underneath routes as when he is locked into one receiver. So he has a bit of an issue in zone coverage. But the good news is, Matt Patricia's defense is man-to-man coverage, which is where he excels. So that may not be a bit of an issue. He flashes a quick one-hand jab on receivers, but has room to improve his technique when doing so. Hey, there's always room for improvement. He usually gets himself off balance. He surrenders inside releases too easily, trusting his makeup speed and length to slap away quick slants. He could do a better job of timing his leaps. He loses out on jump balls on occasion, so he has to learn again better at that. When he appears to be in good position to defend the pass, yeah, he's got to improve on that, though. For his NFL comparison, he's been compared to Xavier Rhodes, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, since Xavier Rhodes was just released by the Vikings, and Rhodes is now an unrestricted free agent. Don't worry, I'll talk about the free agency and the new collective bargaining agreement at the end of the video. So yeah, he fits the scheme well. So if we get another first-round pick, if we trade down with the Dolphins, get a couple picks here, he could fit the scheme well. Could be someone to target here. Go for Simmons and get Terrell. Get both of Clemson's playmakers. So yeah, Terrell could be someone really to look at. Could be someone we could look in the later rounds if he falls, even in the second round if he falls there, which he should. But yeah, someone to look at. So the final defensive back we're going to look at before we move on to safeties, we have hailing out of Alabama, standing 6'2", weighing 207 pounds, we have Trayvon Diggs. So Trayvon, for his strengths, he looks the part of a modern-day press corner, has surprisingly fluid for a corner with his height, shows loose hips to turn and run receivers downfield, as well as good balance and bursts out of his breaks. He alternates his approach and press. He's able to punch out or harass receivers at the snap and disrupts timing or just turning and running with them. So he's pretty good in man coverage. Generally a reliable tackler. His long arms aid him greatly in tripping up ball carriers, seemingly out of his grasp. He became more of a physical defender in 2019. He's still an ascending talent whose best ball should be ahead of him. So for overall, though, he was one of Alabama's top corner athletes. He made the full-time transition to corner in 2018 after he previously played receiver, kick and punt returner, and also defensive back. Has impressive ball skills, athleticism, and his vision make him a threat to turn turnovers into touchdown. He did that in 2019. He had a 100-yard fumble return for a touchdown in 2019. Overall, though, in over the past 2 years, he played in 18 games. He's had 4 interceptions and 18 passes defended. For his weaknesses, though, he's only focused on the corner position for a season and a half. His inexperience can show at times, so he could be someone that may need a couple years to season before showing his true potential. His improved route recognition, but he's more reliant on his size and athleticism to choke throwing lanes and anticipating and making more plays on the ball. He focuses too much at times on receivers adjusting to the ball rather than turning towards the action. After he won the starting role at corner to begin his junior campaign, Diggs did miss the final 9 games of 2018 with a broken foot, which will require a closer look by NFL doctors. So yeah, that is a red flag there. He's had an injury history in the past. And, could this repeat itself at the NFL level? Could he be injury prone? Especially when he had to get it looked at by doctors. So that could be interesting. For his NFL comparison, Trayvon's also been compared to Xavier Rhodes, formerly of the Vikings. And also, did I mention that Trayvon is also the younger brother to Vikings wide receiver Stefon Diggs? So yeah, this is interesting. If the Lions do take him, this could get interesting. Considering the Lions play the Vikings twice a year since both teams are division rivals. So we could get ourselves a brother versus brother matchup potentially in the NFC North. That would get interesting. The injury's gonna be, if anyone takes him, it will be a gamble considering the broken foot. With that foot, will it affect his explosiveness? Will he be the same player? It's a gamble. But if he loses nothing off of it, the gamble could be worth the reward. So yeah, something to keep an eye on. And of course, the final position we're going to go over in this video, we're going to go over the one top-ranked safety in this draft. Like, the safety class draft this year isn't as deep as other drafts in the past. Most of the safeties in this draft aren't going to be till like day 2 or day 3 or later. So yeah, it's not really as deep as other drafts. But anyway, the one safety we will go over, hailing out of LSU, standing 6'3", weighing 203 pounds, we have Grant Delpit. So Grant, he is your prototype ball skill safety, so he's very good with the ball. For his strengths, he has rare size, length, speed, and fluidity. He's big enough and fast enough to play almost anywhere on the field. His height and long arms are a major asset in zone and man coverage, so he can excel in both coverages. He's extremely aggressive, effective playing downfield. He finds his way to the ball quickly, doesn't shy away from contact. While he isn't perfectly disciplined, he is a menace in zone coverage, has the closing speed and ball skills to punish quarterbacks, quick feet and length to match up to a variety of body types. He is projected as a terrific man-to-man weapon, so really you can put him in any defensive scheme, he would excel in it. At the next level, has great effort and attitude. He should, like I just mentioned, should fit any scheme and make an instant impact. So overall for his college career, in his freshman year in 2017, he had 60 tackles, 3.5 tackles for a loss, had an interception and 9 pass breakups. In 2018, he had 74 tackles, 5 sacks, 5 interceptions, and 14 pass breakups, and he earned unanimous All-American honors while being a finalist for the Bronco Nagursi Trophy as the best defender in college football. And that was all despite missing a few games with a broken collarbone. So yeah, that broken collarbone could be a bit of a red flag, so coming in with some injury history. In 2019, he wasn't as productive, though he stepped off a bit. Had only 65 tackles, 4.5 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 9 pass breakups. But he still won the Thorpe Award as the nation's top defensive back. So, for weaknesses, though, he did at one point look like the next Jamal Adams and Derwin James after an outstanding sophomore season, but maybe not as quite as a junior year. The biggest concern with him is tackling, though, and he uses his arms to dive at ball carriers' legs. Usually comes up empty too often, so he usually misses a lot of tackles, so that could be an issue. It's not that he shies away from contact, he's not the physical finisher that you expect. He could show a bit more discipline and awareness, so he's got to get better at not taking stupid-ass penalties, which he often compensated for with his athleticism. For his NFL comparison, though, he has been compared to Derwin James of the Los Angeles Chargers. He's also been compared to Jamal Adams, the New York Jets. So, if he can find a way to get back to where he was in his sophomore year, could be a very solid player, could fit any scheme. So, yeah, someone maybe to keep an eye on, especially if he falls late in the first round, and depending on what the Lions do with the 3rd pick. Someone to keep an eye on, maybe. So yeah, anyway, as I wrap this draft preview up, I did get news. This is actually breaking news just as I finished the video. So after I finished recording the clip on Grant Delpit, I got the notification about the status of the draft due to the COVID-19 outbreak. So for everyone that's saying the draft is going to be postponed to May, or all those rumors about it, well, guess what? The NFL has squashed all that. The NFL has announced that the draft is still going to go ahead April 23rd to 25th. So it is not going to be delayed. It is still going to be set for the same date. However, all the public events in Vegas for the draft have been canceled. But the draft is still on for those days. So more than likely, the draft is going to be closed off to the public. Odds are they're probably going to have it in like a hotel conference room in Vegas, and they're going to do it there. To try and keep everyone safe as a precaution because, the COVID-19 outbreak, which has shut all the sports down. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up here. That's actually going to wrap it up here for all the day 1 picks. So yeah, in the next video, we're going to start looking into some of the day 2 prospects. Look at some other positions, too, for the Lions draft board. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up here. Yes, I also know about the new CBA agreement, where now it'll be 14-team playoff format starting this year, where now it'll be only the top seeds in the AFC and the NFC get a round 1 bye. And also starting in 2021, if the owners vote on it and agree to stay with it, There will be 17-game regular seasons starting in 2021, and so on, with only 3 preseason games. Now I have to double check. I think they said that the bye week would be eliminated with the 17-game regular season. I think they're saying it would still only be 17 weeks. I think if there is a bye week, then it's going to add an extra week, so it'd be 18 weeks. But I'm hearing it's only 17 weeks, so it's going to eliminate the bye week. So yeah, now the Lions' 0-16 record is no longer special anymore. So yeah, maybe now everyone will shut the fuck up about it. The Lions' 0-16 isn't even special to begin with, since the Cleveland Browns already matched it. Like, fuck me. But yeah, anyway, I'm really a big fan of it, and they also with this new CBA agreement, any time an NFL player fails a drug test for smoking marijuana, aka weed, they will not be penalized. So now in the NFL, you can smoke weed and get away with it, pretty much. Since now weed is trying to be legal everywhere, especially in Canada. Weed is legal in Canada. And some states are now really trying to push on legalizing weed. So yeah, and oh, by the way, this agreement lasts till 2031. So for everyone that was fearing that the NFL was going to be going into a lockout in 2021, pump the brakes. No lockout coming anytime soon. Now we can rest easy, and hopefully we can get our football back, and that this COVID-19 doesn't fucking delay this shit too. Thank God this COVID crap is happening during the off-season. Because if this happened during NFL regular season, this would fucking suck ass. So yeah, I'm really a big fan of it. I really like it. So yeah. And it was a really close vote. It was like only 1,019 players voted yes for it, and 959 voted no. So it was a majority vote. It was very close. Like, only 60 votes decided it. Like, it was that close. But yeah. So yeah, what does this mean for the Lions going forward now with this? Well, it means that Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn's win now ultimatum just got a lot easier. Because now with this, pretty much now with this, 9-7 or even 8-8 could be enough now to make the playoffs. And yeah, and oh, by the way, I gotta mention some here. I actually checked this out, and if this format was implemented in 2017, the year Jim Caldwell got fired, 9-7 would have been enough for the Lions to make the playoffs that year. Despite the Lions losing to the Bungles and the Ravens, those two trash offenses those years. And odds are if the Lions did make the playoffs that year, it would have been the worst case scenario, because then Caldwell would have stayed for another year. Don't worry, Caldwell would have for sure been fired after 2018 if he did stay. So yeah, that's really going to trigger all the Caldwell fanboys. Damn. And let's be real, Caldwell's record, he was carried by Matt Stafford for 4 years. Take his winning record and shove it up your fucking ass. That's all I gotta say to that. So yeah, it makes it a bit easier now to manage. Since now it will be 3 wild cards. The divisions will remain the same. The 4 division winners. But now it's 3 wild cards. So now there will now be 6 wild card games this year. 3 for each conference. So yeah, it's gonna create a lot of competition. Every game is now gonna mean a lot more than it used to be now. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting season. Like now every team has a legit chance now to get in the playoffs, because now they just need to be one. Now they can just be at least one of the 3 wild cards. And now with this, it now makes that getting home field advantage throughout the playoffs more important. Because now, if you're the top seed, not only do you get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, you're also the only team that gets that 1 week break. So now being the number 1 seed matters and means more. So yeah, I'm really a big fan of this playoff format. Honestly, I would have preferred, though, the 16-team playoff. where it's 8 teams in each conference and then eliminate the round 1 bye week. So that would mean 4 games to perfection, the 4 games to glory. But hey, I think that, this is mean in the middle of that 6 and 8, that 12 team and 16 team format. I'm cool with 14 teams. It's a form. I won't die from it. I'll live through it. But yeah, gonna be an interesting season if we do get it back on track. So yeah, of course, free agency starting today. If the Lions make any moves, I will discuss it. I am bringing back free agency wars. Don't worry. I'm only going to do 1 episode a week. They'll come out on Friday or Saturday. The 1 episode every week. Until the draft. I think this time they'll extend it throughout the off season in case there's anything that goes on, not only the signings, but any drama or negativity in the media, which I did with it last year. But yeah, so yeah, you got free agency wars to look forward to. But yeah, anyway, that's all I gotta say. I did hear about a lot of contracts. I'll be honest here, the Titans, that contract the Titans signed Ryan Tannehill to. I'll be honest here, the Titans overpaid the shit out of Tannehill with that contract. And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention with the new CBA, the salary cap now goes up by 20%. So it's almost $200 million in the salary cap. I think it's 188 or 198. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 188. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, anyway, that's going to wrap it up here for this video. That's all I got to say, folks. Hope everyone's a great day, and yeah, I'll catch you all in the next draft preview. Peace out.